Masterpieces Unveiled, Exploring Art Through Time. For my first painting, I'll be analyzing the art piece Ophelia, painted by John Everett Millais in the years of 1851 to 1852. You'll see that the painting depicts Ophelia lying in the stream in a peaceful manner. She's surrounded by the lush greens and flowers. Her body is gently floating in the water, her eyes almost closed, and her hands gripping the flowers that had fallen around her. Her long hair is spread out in the water, decorated with flowers and reeds. Overall, the scene is very serene yet haunting, capturing a moment of calm right before death hits the poor woman. The painting Ophelia was a part of collections from the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, which was an art movement in which Everett Millais was a part of. He painted the piece with oils on canvas as he portrayed the process of Ophelia's drowning herself due to the death of her father and the betrayal of her lover Hamlet. Millais' working process was conducted in 2 sessions. First, he painted the landscape, which is actually a real location. He painted the setting to take place on the banks of the Hogs Mill River in a well. Then he went and found a model to be his Ophelia. He chose the 19-year-old Elizabeth Siddall as the model for Ophelia. Fun fact, he actually made Siddall stay in a bathtub full of warm water for many hours as he painted her. Millais' painting Ophelia is a richly symbolic and emotionally charged depiction that captures the tragic essence of Shakespeare's character from Hamlet. Millais manages to create a calm but eerie mood in the painting. Calm with how the nature in the painting manages to make you feel like you've stepped into a secret garden. Eerie, but with how he depicts Ophelia in the water. With her half-lidded eyes and open mouth as she floats in the stream, it's a bit ominous. The way that Ophelia's proportions are painted as, you can tell that Millais had a model. From the way that her expression looks to the way that she holds her hands, it all looks proportionally correct. I believe that because Millais used oil paints, he managed to create a realistic art piece that depicted a fictional tragedy of history. With smooth strokes of the paintbrush and adding specific details such as the plants and flowers that surround Ophelia, it creates this masterpiece that unifies all the elements. The best way that I can interpret this painting is that Millais is showing us the tragic death of Ophelia, a woman who drowns in the water as she's swallowed by the despair of losing her father in a brutal betrayal of her lover. But he shows her death in a serene and almost beautiful moment. When compared to her death in the play, her death was portrayed in a violent and chaotic manner. To me, this painting focuses more on capturing the emotional essence of Ophelia's final moments. Millais shows all of this by painting in a calm manner before her death. And if you take a closer look at the flowers that Millais paints that surrounds Ophelia, they all symbolize death and beauty. The poppies symbolize death and eternal sleep. Daisies represent innocence and purity. Violets signify faithfulness and resemblance, and roses symbolize love and beauty. Each flower plays a part in the narrative of Ophelia's tragic fate and emphasizes themes of love, loss, and sorrow. I believe that the painting gives off this eerie feeling. It's such a beautiful oil painting that paints the final moments of Ophelia's life in such a heavenly manner that it makes you forget that she's going to drown. I believe this piece to be a very unique piece of work due to the fact that Millais painted a fictional subject, but with a convincing illusion, which at the time was unheard of. He manages to succeed in a subject where you took a fictional subject from a story and created his own version of the story or character in his own style. He basically created some fan art from the story Hamlet. One thing that I'll say about this painting is that it's one of the most recognizable pieces of art of our time. It's been featured in movies such as Ophelia, which featured Daisy Ridley, who plays the tragic girl, as well as games. One of my favorite games, Mermaid Swamp, features the painting as a way to unsettle the viewer as you explore the home of an old man. Now, for my last painting, I'll be finishing up with Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez. He painted this piece back in 1656. He painted this piece with oils on canvas. And also, did you know that Las Meninas, when translated to English, means the maids of honor or ladies in waiting? There are about 11 people in the painting, 12 if you include the dog. You can see that the setting takes place in a dark studio where a little girl, Margaret Teresa, as a young girl, stands in the center. She's surrounded by her 2 ladies in waiting. Now, in a specific manner, I'll describe who can be seen in this painting. First, you can see Margaret Teresa in the center. Then the lady in waiting on her left is Doña Isabel de Velasco, who is curtsying to the princess. The last lady in waiting is Doña Maria Agustina Sarmiento de Sotomayor. She's painted kneeling before the princess as well as offering the girl a drink on a tray. If you look over to the right, you can see the 2 dwarfs, Mari Barbola, the taller one of the 2, and Nicolas Pretusato, the one who's messing with the dog. The woman dressed in black is the Doña Marcela de Oyo, the princess chaperone. She can be seen talking to the guard who stands next to her. A man named Don Jose Nieto Velazquez, the queen's chamberlain, stands in the doorframe all the way in the back. Even Velazquez himself painted himself in the mural. He stands near Las Meninas as he paints in the painting. Kind of weird, right? And finally, a mirror in the back can be shown the reflections of King Philip and his Queen Mariana. The painting was completed with oils and finished with a varnish. This would give the painting a smooth surface. Velasquez's brushstrokes created an implied texture which can be seen in the satin of the ladies' dresses and the fur on the dog in the painting. Diego Velazquez's painting Las Meninas is a great exploration of art and reality and perception. The painting is laid with symbolism in almost every piece of the art. The painting makes the viewer feel like they've just stepped into the room in the painting, as if we are the ones disturbing the room. You can definitely get that feeling by looking at the princess's face. It's like she's watching us and looks annoyed as if we're not supposed to be there. Velasquez manages to create this perspective in his art where we, the viewer, are looking in, as if we're someone walking into the room and looking around, causing the people in the room to look uncertain and strange at the viewer. Even adding himself to the painting, Velasquez definitely helps with this perspective. As I've stated before, this painting makes me feel like I've stepped into a room that I wasn't supposed to. Like I'm disturbing the peace, or I'm seeing something that I'm not supposed to see. It's a strange feeling that makes me feel like I should mind my business and move along. My final judgment on this painting is that Velázquez achieved a new type of perspective in the artwork world. Instead of doing a regular portrait or landscape, he created a new look in how you can view art. So I consider this piece to be a type of unique new art style. Diego Velázquez Las Meninas is a unique form of Western art that explores the themes of perception, representation, and the different kinds of human interactions. It makes the viewer think and reflect on the piece, challenging viewers to look deeper into the art piece and piece together the world that resides in it. Now that I'm at the end, I simply want to say that these paintings are some of the most recognizable paintings in the world. Maybe you might not know the name of these paintings, but you would definitely know what the painting looks like. I certainly did with Las Meninas, due to the fact that someone on YouTube made a video on the painting that captured my attention when I was 13 years old. Same with Ophelia. Milai's painting took the world by storm as Ophelia's pose has been recreated in pop culture so many times that it's impossible not to recognize it. Therefore, these paintings have made a great impact in history from the times when they were painted to the current times that we're living in now. What a way to leave a mark!